Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. Happy Sports Equinox Day. What is that?
It's the 30th time in history that all four North American major sports league have played on the same day.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I didn't even know that. No. Oh, my God. That
must mean I'm a way worse degenerate than you are.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, I'm cheersing this.
Hell yeah. Let's open one up. And maybe a little special Halloween episode here. We'll get into that a little bit later. But
yeah, for sure.
Got trick-or-treating. Well, by the time this comes out tonight, trick-or-treating as an adult is way more fun. Hot take, way more fun as an adult than it was as a kid.
Oh.
At least in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I think that's wrong from my experience, at least.
I mean, I'm like sitting here thinking how I'm going to block out 30 minutes to go get the fireball shots I'm going to be handing out tomorrow night.
See, that's the thing. I feel like either I was just blind to this as a kid and it was happening, or we, as like millennial age, have just turned every possible moment into a drinking.
Yeah, because I don't remember my parents like getting after it too hard. Like my dad would have some beers out there passing out candy, but I don't ever remember my parents going after it too hard. Like, we're going to trick-or-treat tomorrow night, and then the kids are going to go down the street with me to a Halloween party. And, you know, I hand out fireball shots. There's other houses in the neighborhood that'll hand out stuff to adults. So, to me, it's more fun.
Yeah.
For that. Now, if you don't have that, then maybe it isn't fun, especially tomorrow night when it was the high supposed to be like 35 or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see how much trick-or-treating actually gets done. Yeah, I mean, I just, as a kid, whatever. I wasn't the biggest Halloween fan as a kid either, so, like, I probably stopped trick-or-treating around, like, 10, 12,
oh,
maybe.
Damn, I went until I was, like, at least a freshman in high school.
Like I said, we can talk more about the candy stuff later.
Yeah.
But I feel like our whole lives we were taught, like, pay attention to what you get, like, inspect the packages and all that stuff. But then, like, walking through my in-laws' neighborhood last year, I probably took like 3 or 4 Jell-O shots from strangers.
Hey, check the kids' candy. God forbid they wouldn't lace a Jell-O shot.
Yeah.
That's. I mean.
So I think I may need to rethink my choices for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I guess in our neighborhood I've never taken anything from someone I didn't know. Typically, it's coming from somebody that we know pretty well that I'm assuming is not going to lace my Jell-O shot or some drink, whatever drink they give me with like fentanyl or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm a Halloween junkie. I've always loved it. I don't know. I grew up around it. Like my uncle was like a huge horror movie fan. Started on those super, super early. And yeah, I love it. And I just think it's more fun as an adult now. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. Like if that's the scene for your neighborhood, I could totally understand it. I've always loved the idea of Halloween more than I actually like Halloween.
I feel, yeah.
Like in practice, it's not as fun as like the idea of it.
Yeah, well, it's like 2 hours too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like
but there's all this build up out for the whole season, which, respect to this.
Yeah.
It's not my scene, but people that love it really love it.
Yeah.
I will say that about Halloween.
But I'll tell you, like, we're already talking about the Christmas tree going up like on Friday and Saturday. So,
oh my God, no, you have got to wait until after Thanksgiving. That's my rule. We get the tree. This has been our tradition. So, we get the tree on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then it goes up like Friday or Saturday or whatever.
So the reason being is my sister-in-law is coming into town, and she's never been here. Our tree's obnoxiously big.
Sure.
It is a process to put it up. So I don't so much mind putting it up early because it is a day-long fiasco of putting it up and taking it down because it's 12 feet tall. There are probably 300 ornaments that go on it. So, but the wife wants to put it up now because she wants her to see it because she's never been here to see it. So I'm like, I'm gonna bend a little bit. I don't mind it being up that long. I really don't. Now, Christmas lights outside, not happening until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We're going to live in secrecy of shame until after Thanksgiving, and I'll put the lights outside.
I'm a massive Thanksgiving fan, so I put everything I have into Thanksgiving before I allow Christmas to happen.
I love. We had Thanksgiving dinner, quote unquote, last night.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Thanksgiving guy. There's nothing. You scarf down a bunch of food, and you get drunk. It's like, and football's on all day. Yeah. So, but Halloween's first. Don't skip my holiday. Top 3 holiday. Not my favorite, but top 3 for sure.
Okay. Wouldn't make mine, but that's fine. Fall golf. We played a little fall golf this weekend.
Not great golf, but we were out there.
It was in spurts. It felt like, Ryan was pretty steady the whole time, but like between me and you, it was like we alternated. Like if I was playing well, you weren't, and vice versa.
It was an adventure. I literally, 2 episodes we had talked about like what we felt our strengths were now, and I said putting because it was like heck, even in our Ryder Cup, I putted really well, and I had 5 3-putts on Saturday. Now, granted, I don't make excuses, but I will say I could not get the speed down because of like the aeration, the sand. Multiple times I didn't mark my ball and went up and like tried to tap it in, and there was like sand on the back of it, and it like shot off left to right. But yeah, we were all over the place. He was pretty steady. We were not steady.
Yeah, I figured it out. I had a 9-hole stretch in the middle. Once I made the tourniquet par on 6, after making 5 straight bogeys, I was in those next 9 holes. I was 1 under. But then in the other 9 holes on the opposite side, the first 5 and the last 4, I was 10 over.
and then you had the gall to blame your triple bogey on us making a bet on the tee box.
Okay, to clarify, we made a group parlay where we each took 2 picks on college football. And I think my body just knew how bad Ryan's picks were that I instantly launched 2 balls right out of play. Triple, double after making that bet. Before that, I was locked in. We were good.
The fact that we had his first bet out of his mouth, we both were like, absolutely not.
And then the second one, which he was like, Oklahoma, the obvious play, right?
Yeah, and
we were both like, dude, I can't. Oklahoma's unbettable. But then we came around to it, and of course,
that was the killer. I mean, that
money
was
line L to Kansas.
Yeah,
just graceful.
But then you blamed it on that, which honestly, I got so heated on Saturday just with how everything was going. If I could have blamed it on that, I would have too, but I couldn't because that was one of my better holes of the day.
I might myself, like I may have taken 20 minutes on that hole alone because I was
yeah, we were on that hole for like 35 minutes easily.
Well, Ryan took a phone call. It was just a disaster.
Yeah, he's over in the other fair. Yeah, he was like way left. He's taking a phone call, and then he gets off the phone and he's just like staring out in the nowhere. Like I'm like, are you gonna? I hit 5 minutes before he even got a club out of his bag.
Yeah, and
I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even see you. You're over in the right weeds. Like it was just we were on. I swear we got on that hole at like 11:30. We did not get off of it until like 12 o'clock, a little after 12. It was between the tee box and the bedding, and then like being everywhere. It was a long hole.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad.
I mean, I'm speaking to you who took it 8, so yeah, it was a very long hole for you.
I did just because I think I might have hit possibly the best chip of my life on 2 white.
Yes.
Downhill lie. Had to try to like basically flop it off of a downhill lie because the green runs away from you from where I was there. Granted, conditions were kind of soft. It was a little drizzly and sandy and stuff.
Still a pretty good shot.
Buried it for birdie.
And I tried to jinx it 4 feet out. I was like, let me get that out of the hole for you. In hopes that it would like make a movement one way or the other and miss.
Yeah.
But it hit dead center. I was like, God dang, that works for any other shot.
I know.
If I say it on my putt, definitely not going in.
No.
I tried to jinx it, but it was just too good of a shot to jinx. But other than that, I mean, like there weren't a lot of highlights. I mean, I did have back-to-back birdies. But other than that, well, I say I had back-to-back gross birdies. I did not have back-to-back net birdies.
Yeah, it's a tough
because one of them was a par,
yeah,
a net par after birdieing. So I don't know. It was good. The colors out there. I mean, fall golf is tremendous, I think.
Yeah. I was so convinced that it wasn't going to rain because every time I checked the forecast, it was fine. It just kind of like sprinkled on us on and off.
Yeah, like spit.
All day long. I had no rain gloves. I didn't have an official rain, like an actual rain jacket. Didn't bring my umbrella. I walked. Like, this is just a totally unprepared.
You guys were, I mean, I'm still getting like cart pass use.
Yeah.
But I was like, even if I didn't have that, like, I'm riding. It's not cart path only. It's super wet. Like, just the top of the grass is wet. Like, I just knew that was going to be miserable. Like, absolutely miserable.
Once we got to like our 15th hole was when like the shoes kind of, get a little soggy because, you got to go look through the forest for a golf ball.
But I knew we were going to have bad luck with the rain when I was on my way. And I was like, guys, it's raining. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, nothing showed on the radar.
Yeah.
And it was like legit raining at that point. So I knew we were going to get bad luck with the rain when that was happening on the way to the course.
I was so excited to be back out there, though. Honestly, like, it didn't really make me sad or anything. But I will tell you, after finishing the round and then, like, the last 2 days, I have the golf bug bad, and 2, my seasonal sadness is starting to set in.
Oh, yeah.
You got me.
I'm cheering up a little bit. I think I just need to get back out on the course to it's still, I can feel the resentment of winter coming soon. To the point where I'm trying to plan golf simulator leagues with people because I'm just like, I need to keep busy or I'm just going to melt in my sadness, my seasonal depression. So,
yeah, I got to figure out some sort of, I don't know, practice plan or something. I want to spend some time this winter actually working on my game a little bit. It could be once a week, just hit balls or something.
I have a putting thing.
I got a putting mat at home. Do that too.
Yeah, you have one too.
But just something to
just to keep the golf club in your hands.
Yeah, so I don't have to spend, March, April, and May just figuring out
2.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do a great job of it. I did a really good job of it last year early on in the winter. For whatever reason, like February going into March, I didn't really, and maybe I was just kind of like getting tired of like hitting into a simulator, putting in my basement. I probably just got like a burn. I was actually doing it. I was putting like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And I think I burnt myself out. That is a pretty good idea though. Like once a week instead of like as much as I did it.
I'll putt frequently. I do that a lot in the basement, but yeah, like I said, we talked about it. I don't think I went to the range just to like practice all year. So
yeah, but
I got to get some kind of practice in.
I do have a rule, like going to the range, like especially an outside range, like it's got to be over 40 degrees.
Yeah, otherwise it's just not really going to help you, right?
Or it's just going to be miserable, like one of the two. I mean, or probably even both, honestly. So it might be a good idea. Just once a week, get the club in your hand. Doesn't matter what it is. Stay fresh.
Yeah, totally. Next up on the docket, unless we get a nice day between now and then, Turkey Open.
Turkey Open, yeah. So I made a mistake. I said we were going to cap it at 17. Right now, I was told that we could probably go up to 24.
Hell yeah.
We're at 17 right now. The only thing I can say is if you do want to play, the closer we get, like last year at this point, I only had like 8 teams. And then all of a sudden it was like the closer we got, it was like people started wanting to play. So this is the most teams that we've had this early on. So if you want to play and you definitely want to guarantee yourself a spot, you need to sign up. Because I've got people that are looking for partners and stuff like that I know are going to play. They just haven't found a partner yet. So probably 24. I mean, if we go any more than that, if we went up to 28, then we really, that's any frost delay is really going to be cutting it close with the sunlight, especially if it's cloudy. So
24 would be sick. I feel like that's a good goal.
That'd be a good number. The pots will be big.
For next year.
You just do the simple math. I think if we had 24 teams, the winning team's going to get like $600 a piece.
Yeah, would be nice.
Not a bad payout.
Yeah, head into the holidays. A little Black Friday shopping.
Yeah, and we do pay out each individual format. 6 holes. Yeah, format. Yeah. So if you don't play, if you really blow up on like alternate shot or something, you can still win best ball or the scramble portion, and that does pay out enough. Especially if we get the 20 teams, you get more than your money back. Right. So you might even make a little bit of money if you win one of the formats, and then the skin spot, I keep that pretty big for a reason. So, because with that many teams, it's going to be hard to have a skin.
Oh, yeah.
And I think last year we only had one skin. No, we had none last year. We had no skins.
Yeah.
Because that month then, so if there's no skins like there was last year, that money gets thrown into the winner pool.
Yeah.
All the formats and the individual or the total team. So yeah, we had no skins last year. $600 pot, no skins. So
do we do net skins only?
Yeah, net skins only.
Okay.
So it's going to be a good time. I don't care what the weather is. It's going to be fun. So
Farmer's Almanac never lies.
It never,
50s and
never
sunny.
been wrong.
That's what I've been told. 50s and sunny on Black Friday. So we'll hope for it. All right, quick before we get into the next thing, little just advertising for ourselves. If you're here now and you have not subscribed or rated or reviewed the podcast, number one, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Number two, do that now, please.
Yes.
It helps us. And then also follow us. We're going to start ramping up the Instagram content again. I think you had a nice little reel today. You know,
yeah.
Let you cook a little bit on
some
fall golf reel.
Fall golf reel, yeah. It seems people like fall golf. They eat it up. You know, even the women. Obviously. I saw some women liking it in there. They women live for fall.
Okay, explain.
I mean, come on. I don't know a woman that does not like fall.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like, you know, between the clothes and, like, the cooler weather, especially if you have kids, like, it's hot outside in the summer, and you're, like, carrying kids and stuff. Like, that can get miserable. All women love the fall. We probably had, like, 5 or 6 women like it. Because they're probably like, oh, look at the leaves. I mean, that's what I was kind of doing it for. But, you know, because our course had unbelievable coloring on Saturday when you took some pictures. So,
yeah. I mean, it would have been sick if the sun was out, but I still think it was pretty. There's some pretty good shots in there with contrast in the clouds.
But we're ramping that back up, and then
final thing,
hats.
Still have hats, obviously. The Patio Beers in white, the Back 9 6-pack logo on navy and white still available. But we're gonna do a little limited run beanie.
Heck yeah! You got to sport it during the. Can't go to the look at Christmas lights without a beanie. You can't wear a regular hat. That's
just because it gets cold. The Back 9 6-pack doesn't die just with the cold weather, right?
No, actually, I would think it would kick up the drinking a little bit when it gets a little colder outside.
Yeah, get a little beer jacket on, right? Yeah. So we ordered these. Shout out to Gunt for hooking us up. If you have any sporting apparel needs, we'll put you in contact with Gunt.
Yeah, we'll give him a free ad. BSN. Yeah, BSN. Look, he definitely hooked us up, I think, price-wise and everything like that. Give him a call.
Pro.
Yeah, he is. Pro. He really is.
So, yeah, if you want a beanie, let us know. We've only ordered 10 of them, so hit us up. $25.
This is limited
run here. If there's good, maybe we'll go back for another re-up if we get some good interest in them.
And just for the record, I'm going to bring the hats to the Turkey Open, so if anybody wants to buy anything, we'll be running our own little Black Friday sale at the entry table.
Yeah.
So
pro shop it out of Air Force One.
Yeah. Yep.
Pop the trunk.
I'll be there an hour and a half early.
Nice. All right. So I sent this to you earlier just because I wanted to, because we talked about this a little bit with all the Lucas Glover stuff this year earlier. So Golf Digest did, and this is, look, small sample size, pretty basic stuff, but they went through the top 125 players in the FedEx Cup standings from this past year and analyzed who used what stroke, and then looked at 3 key metrics, which were strokes gained putting, make percentage from 4 to 8 feet, and 3-putt avoidance, to try to see what method the better players were using, because they basically broke it down and found the average ranking inside that top 125. I can't talk. So, one, did you read the article? If not,
I did not read the article. I just looked at the graphic you sent over, and
yeah. So I'll go through these just real quick.
To me, the facts are damning.
Yes. So highlights. Number 1, the standard putting grip. So if you're right-hander, right hand low, came in second in all 3 categories. So just tried and true, locked in. the one that kind of surprised me was, well, in general, the three kind of more unconventional ones, right? So long putter, the pencil or the claw grip, and the arm lock. Those are the ones that people like go to when they're trying to save it.
Yes.
And I think that bared out in these stats because none of them really popped. The only thing that stood out, the long putter was first in 3-putt avoidance.
Really?
Could maybe make some sense, I guess.
I think even after the outlawed anchoring, there's still a pendulum there. And I really do think it helps you control speed. That's my take on it. So that, to me, that fact or that stat does not surprise me. It really doesn't. Like the fact that those guys don't, and I think those putters are really good from 5 feet and in, to the point where I think it's borderline cheating.
Well, I would say that. So
I shouldn't say it's cheating because there's no rule outlawing a long putter. But I do think there is a competitive advantage for those putters, specifically longer putt speed and inside 5 feet.
So they did. The long putters did rank third of the 5 in short putting. So they beat out arm lock and the pencil or the claw in short putts. I do think that probably the 3-putt avoidance thing could have something to do with, and this is just like a generalization for me, but I feel like a lot of like the really good ball strikers also use the long putter. So they might just be putting from closer.
Well, that's fair too, because like think perfect example, right? Lucas Glover,
Adam Scott.
I mean, heck, Tiger Woods is on record of saying like he's one of the best ball strikers he's ever seen, and that's coming from the GOAT. So Lucas Glover is no slouch when it's from tee to green, where he's always had problems up until this year has been putting. So he's probably, if you look at his stroke gain approach and stuff, I mean, he's probably closer to the hole than most guys.
Yeah, I guess the other thing that stood out too here is, so cross-handed was first in strokes gained putting and short putting, but it came in fourth in 3-putt avoidance. And I swear to God, I think this is like Jordan Spieth and Xander Schauffele are weighing that stat so far. Just those two alone.
They're anchors for sure in that stat.
Yeah, for 3-putt avoidance.
They are 100% the anchors in that.
But I guess more than anything here, like it was just kind of fascinating to see like one standard being there in second for all 3 categories, and then sort of these alternative methods not really, except for maybe 3-putt avoidance, like really paying off.
Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like when you look at a guy like Lucas Glover, who is habitually bad putter.
We documented how his improvement in the strokes gained putting category over the
like
years.
This
how
year.
Bad he's been. Yeah.
Like in the middle of this year. Like he went from like one of the worst putters to one of the best putters. Like if you cut the stats in half, not year long, like from like the beginning of the year until like May when he switched to it, and then May to the end of the year, that second half, he was one of the best putters on tour.
Yeah, and then you have the opposite effect where, you know, guys like Webb Simpson and Keegan Bradley had to go away from the long putter to shorter putter after they made that change.
Yep.
And like how it took them into some dark places for a while there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big change. It's a big change going from the long putter back to a short one. I think the change from short to long is not that bad because, again, you're kind of moving it on a pendulum, right? There's like a fixed place with your left arm, and then you're moving that right arm on a pendulum. So, I mean, it's really good for guys that have like legitimately have the yips because when you have a pendulum, it's really hard to take it off that pendulum. When you have the yips, I mean, well documented, Will Zalatoris, that putter is like, it looks like he's trying to slice something in half with it on the way back.
He's got like the infinity loop stroke.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
The main reason I want to talk about this, though, is because we talked about this last time with the Lucas Glover discussion where to me, putting, just like everything else in golf, is a skill. And I think anything that you introduce that takes away from it being a skill, like some of these long putters especially, I think.
I couldn't agree more.
You have to putt to play the game, and you don't get you don't have a long driver or what, you know what I mean? That's a stupid thing to say, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's not like an alternative way to hit a driver.
There's not an alternative way to be a better pitcher of the golf ball, right? I mean, you can fool around with the bounces and stuff, but realistically, like it's a technique, it's a feel. Like, some guys have really soft hands, some guys don't. Some guys like Victor Hovland kind of create they get better at it because he worked at it. Not like, oh, I'm going to switch to this wedge that automatically like takes my chunks out of play. Because I think that's with the long putter. I think it really does. Guys that don't putt well they don't have a consistent arc to the putting stroke, and that long putter helps them get that because they don't have the skill level or something's going on in their head. That long putter helps them keep it on track.
Yeah, it's the same reason they took away the green reading books, right? Put the skill of reading the green back
into the game. Yeah, it's
so that's my biggest point. Is I would love to see. I don't know what the length is because whatever. If you're 6'8", you need a longer putter.
Yeah, you might need a 37, 38 inch putter or whatever.
But and I don't care if you want to go cross-handed, if you want to do the pencil or the claw, whatever.
Or even if you want to do what Ricky did. Ricky's got like a 38 inch putter. He does not need that. I mean, he's 5'9", but he grips down on it. Like, I'm even good with that.
Yeah.
But when you start talking about moving it on a pendulum, like with a fixed
totally
position, even though it's not anchored, with a fixed position, that's when you lose me.
And it's a totally different movement. And just number one, it looks dumb.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
Golf's already got a tough rack for not being like the coolest sport or whatever. We don't need people out there with the pendulum putter.
I think about that all the time when I see like a Lucas Glover or Adam Scott, and you're like, if I brought someone brand new to the game, right?
Yeah.
Brand new. Never even seen a golf shot hit before.
Like, why are they doing it?
And they walked onto the green, and they, like the practice green, right? And they see all these guys hitting putts one way. Maybe different grips or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in baseball, like guys grip it different. Like they got a finger under the the bottom of the bat. Like different grips, but like they're all legitimately putting the same. And then you see like three guys that are putting with this long putter, and they're doing a different movement. They would be so confused because there's no other sport does that happen. Like I said, baseball, you get guys that kind of grip it different. They've got fingers, in different spots and stuff like that. But for the most part, hitting a baseball, and they got different stances and stuff. But like, there's not a guy, because they have regulations, right? Exactly. Your barrel can only be so big. Your bat can only be so long. You can only have so much of a differential between length and weight. They have regulations for that.
Exactly.
Golf is like the only sport where it's like they don't for one specific thing.
Exactly.
So it gets me worked up because I think
me too.
It's trash.
Honestly, like, look, I'm not a professional golfer. Put that aside. I think that probably the strongest part of my game is my putting. And if there is a way, I can't gain an advantage on you with driver other than doing speed training or working on my swing or whatever
actually
else.
Working on it.
Yes.
Right?
Versus, if you wanted to, you could try to go to this long putter and conceivably have fewer three putts.
Yeah.
And now that is a huge advantage for you.
I'm not getting skill wise. I'm not getting better.
You're benefiting
I'm benefiting from buying a new club.
Yes.
Which is dumb.
Yeah. So that's my point is anything that you do to take away skill of the game, which is also that set aside the golf ball conversation and all of the new equipment stuff and whatever. I want them to do things to preserve what makes the elite players good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like actual skill.
Yes.
And like we have regulations for all kinds of clubs that protect, like you have to have a skill to be good. Like we did away with certain grooves. We've done away, certain irons got, taken off the market, or not taken off the market, but you can't use them in US because, remember the old spin mill wedges. Dude, I could have spun a ball backwards 20 feet out of heather with those things.
Yeah.
We took those out of play because there's no skill in that. Golf is not meant to play where you can spin everything from everywhere. There's certain guys that can still spin the ball out of the rough. It's not a lot. But like the spin mills, I remember when this thing, they tore the shit out of your golf ball.
Yeah.
But you could spin it, you have a short-sided flop shot and the thing would just stop on a dime. But we took stuff like that out of play because it took skill out of golf for the most part. Now it's I feel like with the putters, it's they're taking skill completely out of it.
Yeah, totally agree.
And that's what it boils down to me. And the fact that like love Lucas Glover to death, but the fact that you can make that kind of change and see that significant of a difference proves our point.
I agree.
100%.
No doubt.
And that's not a small sample size for him. I mean, we're talking like he's been on tour for 15 years?
Oh, it's got to be. I mean, at least that, because he won the U.S. Open in 2008.
Yeah. So it's not a small sample size of how bad of a putter he was and how good he was at the end of this year.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to chat through that one more time because we've talked about it previously. There's no good transition here. I can't. There's nothing I got for you here. Can you set the stage for why we're doing this power ranking?
Yeah, so we had a discussion last night.
Who was
me and Danielle.
Okay.
And I was taking some flack for some of my picks as far as Halloween candy goes. Because I told her, I was like, look, I'm mentioning this. We're going to talk about it. And like I started rattling through my list, and she was just like, whoa, no. She's like, that's not even, I throw those away. And I'm like, all right. I got really triggered. So I want to look, we need to talk about, we're going to do a 6-pack of power rankings for our favorite Halloween candies. Favorite Halloween candies.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think you said it. You were like, I think my list is going to get absolutely flamed.
Yeah.
I think I have like 2 or 3 in here that might get a little maybe not flamed, but definitely questioned for sure.
Okay. Before we even get into this, a few things. One, I need to qualify this by saying this is tainted by what I would want now. I didn't go back and think like when I was a kid what I would be excited about. These are my Halloween candy rankings as of today.
I mean, and I would say mine haven't probably changed much.
So mine has.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I wanted to, the second point. I think back when I was a kid, like I was all about like the gummy, sour, sweet, like all the
that's probably that's a fair
point. Like the super just like straight sugar shit, right?
Yeah.
I've completely flipped. Like it's basically all chocolate at this point for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it's pretty much for me is like all chocolate variations other than one.
Okay.
So
number 2 or 3 at this point. You want to do some honorable mentions?
I definitely have some honorable mentions.
Okay. And then also I think we need to give out like a DFL pick.
Actually, let's do one, and we'll do one honorable mention. We'll do like absolutely not. These are trash.
Okay.
Fair?
Right. That's fair.
All right. You want to start with your 6?
We're going to go right into the rankings, or you want to do the honorable mention stuff first?
No, we'll do those last.
Okay. All right. We'll start with number 6 then. $100,000. My number 6.
On my list, a little higher, but
okay.
They're good.
It's one of those ones that's like you only get it in the Halloween like mega pack or whatever. I never like have $100,000 just throughout the rest of the year, but there'll be a couple that get in your Halloween bag, and
honestly, there should be more of them. So when we started texting last night, I told you it was about $100,000. Danielle forgot what $100,000 was. She was like, "Oh no, I like those." It was about another thing on my list that we kind of got into it about. But okay. $100,000 are just, there's not enough of them. I did buy the Costco bag this year for trick-or-treaters. There are multiple, probably 30 $100,000 in there. We're probably down to 10. And maybe that's why they don't end up in your bag that much. People eat them.
Possible. Yeah, I mean, like I would never go to a store or whatever and buy $100,000.
No.
But I'll eat the shit out of them at Halloween time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm never going to buy a full $100,000 bar.
All right.
Side note, funniest thing that $100,000 bar was in, the episode of The Office when Michael goes and talks at business school. And he goes, "What do you want when you get out of here, when you get a job? You want $100,000. And he like throws it and like hits the guy. That is the best.
That scene's so good.
Oh, it's so good. So good. All right, my 6... Airheads. This is my only non-chocolate one on here.
See, that's what I mean. Stuff like that falls in that bucket.
Classic non-chocolate candy. They've been around forever. I mean, as long as I could. The first time I had Airheads was, after like one of my soccer games as like a 7-year-old, and you go up and everybody's like gets $1.50 to spend at the concession stand for snacks afterwards. That was the first time I ever had an Airhead. Every flavor. I'm not biased towards any flavor. I'll eat all of them. But I think it's just been around long enough that it's like, for like our generation specifically, that's probably a pretty popular candy.
For sure. Yeah, that's like a, after your baseball game, concession stand line, free snack, like...
I'll be honest, we're getting to the age where I'm going to be a little worried about eating Airheads here very soon.
Yeah, you're going to be out there on the softball field, just like housing Airheads, big league chew.
That and like just breaking a tooth or something, like anything. Because if they get, if anybody's an Airhead fan, they get a little firm after like a couple weeks of having them around, and you could legitimately break a tooth on one of those.
So I've already realized that I need to make an on-the-fly edit. Like, we're bumping 100 grand down to honorable mention for me. Because number 6 should have been Twix. I think if you're only because that's like too, caramel based.
It is.
And I think Twix is better. So I still want 100 grand near my list, but it's not going to make the top 6. I think Twix is a superior bar.
We'll revisit this.
Okay, that's fair. All right, sorry to interrupt there. Number 5.
Yep.
This is already one I think people are going to flame me for. I like Butterfingers, like straight up.
Not the worst. They're not. I mean, like I'm not going to DFL it.
The problem with Butterfinger is its superior usage is like in a flurry. Like you get a Butterfinger like flurry,
100%.
Like
not a bar.
Yeah, and you can't do a full one, so it's like you got to have the mini ones that you get in the Halloween candy.
Perfect.
Honestly, macro take, I think mini candy bars are better than big candy bars.
They 100% are.
Okay.
Because then you're like, hey, you can spread the love out a little bit. Like, I want a Twix, a Snickers, and a Milky Way. Well, guess what? You can have 3 of those, but if you buy a full bar, you're like, I can't have like another one.
Exactly.
Like 3 small ones equal like a whole bar. So you can kind of mix and match.
All right, I'm glad we found a quorum on this one.
Yeah, but Butterfingers, I grew up. My dad loves Butterfingers. I kind of grew up around it. Doesn't make my list, but I don't hate against Butterfingers.
Okay. Good.
All right, my 5, Kit Kats. Look, they have some of the best Halloween commercials too. They do. They just do.
Okay. I don't think I've seen a Kit Kat commercial in who knows how long.
Oh, really? I just saw one like 2 days ago. It was like a Halloween. It was like on Nickelodeon or something, maybe Disney. They had a Kit Kat Halloween commercial.
Gotcha.
They're always pretty good. It's just kind of one that's been around for a while. You get a lot of these when you trick or treat.
Yeah,
It's a pretty popular.
It's a Halloween staple.
Halloween candy. Oh yeah, 100%.
Kit Kat did not make my list, but it was like I thought about it in this process. You know what I mean? It wasn't like something I just forgot.
So when I made my list, God, I don't want to make another Office reference, but I have to. Do you remember when Andy was like, "Break me off a piece of that," and he couldn't think of he couldn't think of Kit Kat.
Yeah.
I could not stop thinking about that when I wrote this list down. So 2 Office references and 2 candies. Interesting.
There's always room for Office references. So number 4 is my only non-chocolate candy on the list, and I put it here because I think it's the best of the non-chocolate candies. Sour Patch Kids.
Not my favorite, but I can live with that on the list.
Of like the sugar, fruity, whatever candies.
Again, they're a staple, though. It's a staple. They're just movie theater, they're kind of everywhere. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely some gummies I thought you were going another direction with, and I was gonna flame you for it. I thought you were gonna say Swedish Fish.
Oh my god!
And I was about to say, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Look, I don't like Swedish Fish either, but my son loves them. He calls them gooey fish.
They're definitely gooey. Oh my god!
We basically have limited it to like, all right, if we're getting on a plane, you can chew these so your ears don't pop. That's the one time you get gooey fish.
Dude, they're stuck in your teeth for like days.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Like even you brush your teeth and it still doesn't come out.
The only thing that's comparable to that is Milk Duds, which are trash candy. Milk Duds will get stuck in your teeth.
Oh my god!
Bad.
Yeah, the taste of them is good, but the process of eating them is not fun.
I don't even. There's nothing comparable to it.
I'm a big caramel fan, so it's like.
So am I. That's
why I'm like the taste of them is good. The process of eating it and actually processing it is not so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, this is the one that got into a bit of a argument about.
Okay.
Tootsie Rolls.
Dude, this is bad.
And I'm going to go as far as saying flavored or chocolate. I'm not biased against any of them.
The flavored ones are better.
The flavored ones are good, but I'll tell you, I'm a classical guy. Like, I like the chocolate Tootsie Rolls. And my daughters hate them, and I'm here for it because I will pick all of them out of their bag. All of them.
Tootsie Pops are better than Tootsie Rolls. And those are pretty trash, too.
Like, I will tell you this. They're, again, hard to process. You get stuck in your teeth. But I've always been a big Tootsie Roll guy. Like, I always have been. And I love the fact that my daughters hate them because I get all of them. Fair. And they do. They pick them out for me. They're like, all right, hey, here's my Tootsie Roll pile. Because those you get a lot on Halloween. A lot.
Yeah.
They come in the mixed bags and stuff. It's like a filler. It's like a cheap filler for the mixed bags.
There's that one bag that's like Tootsie Rolls, Dum Dums, Smarties. It's like the 1950s bag.
Yeah. It's like any candy that came out like pre-World War II.
Yeah. It's not good. I'm not a fan of that one. That was number 4?
Yep.
All right. Top 3 here is where we're going to start to... I don't think I have anything objectively wrong here, but people are going to be... I think people are going to be triggered by the way that I rank these. We'll see. Number 3 for me is Snickers. There was no way Snickers didn't hit the podium for me.
Yeah, I mean...
It had to be top 3.
Staple. That is by far the candy you get the most in your bag.
Snickers satisfies.
It does. Best commercial. Like, outside of Kit Kat, one of the best commercials.
Candy, yeah, in the candy bar division for sure.
They definitely are. Yeah. I would say that's in my top 3.
And I will also say Snickers, like, of all of the candy and the candy bars, it's the only one that I actually, like, would consider eating a full one.
100%. Oh, yeah. Like, the only one, probably.
It's like a cheat day protein bar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but it's the only one I think I can legitimately say here in the last 15 years I've ever had a full candy bar of.
Same.
Like, these other ones, I definitely, ones that...
Truly elite. It's chocolate, peanuts, caramel, and nougat.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Top notch.
Which also, I'm going to take a second to flame Gunth because I've witnessed him on multiple occasions order a full Three Musketeers bar from the Snack Shack. And that's like, I tell him every time, I'm like, dude, that's trash. That's so bad.
That's the Fairfield coming out.
Yeah, that's the Fairfield in here.
Oh. By the way, on the record, hate frozen Snickers bars. That's a broken tooth waiting to happen.
Now, the ice cream Snicker bars, that's a true Fat King.
That's a Skyline staple.
Yes.
Skyline Snickers ice cream bar afterwards.
Yeah.
Those are really good. But frozen regular Snickers.
It's too hard to eat. Yeah.
I mean, it takes hours to thaw out. Like, we get them all the time at the course, and it's like, I have to tell her behind the counter, like, not frozen. Or I'm not going to be able to eat this until I get in the car after the back 9.
Yeah.
Like, even in like 90-degree weather, they take forever to thaw out. All right, so this is where 100 grand comes in. This is my number 3.
Okay.
Again, we talked about it. It's like just a slightly above average candy bar that is good. I don't even know if I've eaten one outside of Halloween time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you never think
even
about
a small
them.
one, I've never eaten.
You never think about them, but then you get one. You're like, oh.
Around Halloween time, I saw them in that bag. I'm like, God, man, I haven't had 100 grand in forever. It's like perfect. All right, 2.
2 and 1. This is a recent change for me, and I have a reasoning. This number 2 here formerly occupied the 1 spot, and I never thought I would not have it number 1. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And the problem is, the manufacturing, I don't know if they're trying to cut costs, what's going on. The ratios are so inconsistent. Like, between like a regular Reese's, you get like the shaped ones, like all the peanut butter to chocolate ratio is different on every single version of Reese's you have.
Yeah.
It just lacks consistency to be number 1 for me.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Now, Reese's is elite in terms of like you get a Reese's cheesecake, you get a Reese's
again, it's good. It's good. It's good outside of ice cream cakes and all that. It's good inside of them.
Yes, whatever dessert format you can put Reese's in, it exceeds expectations.
Look, the combination of peanut butter chocolate is always going to win out.
Yeah, but I think they've just lost a step. They've lost a little bit on their fastball.
Okay,
so I bumped them down this year. And I'm going to get torched for my number one.
We're going to come back to that because I've got my number one is like very specific, but
okay.
Number two for me was Snickers. Again, doesn't hit one, definitely top three. Yeah. I think most people would be top three. I don't know if it'd be number one for a lot of people, but definitely top three.
Hard to agree.
Unless you're allergic to peanuts or something. But
true, fair. All right, number one for me. I think it's because I'm old now. Peanut M&Ms.
I'm not. It's not on my list. It's probably not honorable mention, but they're not bad. Like it's not like I dislike them. It's just I don't know. It's like I just never been a big M&M person, like regular or peanut.
Yeah,
I'll eat them, but it's not like my favorite.
I think it feels like an adult candy to me. Maybe that's why I like it now.
I think it's like you feel like you're being like kind of conscious about being healthy.
It's like, hey, these are in trail mix. They're fine, right? Like these are okay.
I will tell you this: the peanut butter M&Ms have made quite the leap in my. If we were going like top 25, peanut butter M&Ms are pretty good because they're bigger like the peanut M&Ms, but they have peanut butter in them. And again, peanut butter chocolate. If you're making a candy, can never go wrong with either of those. That combination.
So yeah, peanut M&Ms is just like I know what I'm going to get. They're good. Like I can actually eat a full pack of them if I wanted to. Like I might have them occasionally throughout the year. The small packs are perfect. It's like exactly what you want. I don't know. Just for me, it's like it's just got the consistency. Been here for forever.
Yeah.
To your point, commercials are great. M&M's always had great commercials.
Yeah. Sometimes controversial. Depends on who you're asking.
Exactly.
Which I think you tiptoe the line of controversial is a good commercial.
One of the few things not one of the few things, that was the wrong way to say this, but something that gives me joy during the holiday season is seeing that like 1990s peanut M&M or the yellow and red M&M with Santa. Yeah. When that comes on the TV, it's like, oh my God, this thing it's so old, but it's been around in my life.
But Christmas time is here when that comes on.
It's like the perfect hit of nostalgia.
Oh yeah. I'd agree with
M&Ms,
that.
they're at the top for me.
That's not a terrible one. I don't know how many people would even have that in the top
exactly
three.
Why I know I'm going to get
But I don't think it's not the worst thing.
Okay.
Not the worst thing to put number one. I get why you did it.
Thank you.
So my number one is Reese's, okay? Not cups. Shapes only.
Yeah.
The shapes ones.
That's the move.
Coming back to what you said, the shapes, like the inconsistency between the cups, the shape ones are better. You get more peanut butter, less chocolate, which I'm a big fan of.
I agree.
The shapes, like the pumpkin shaped ones for Halloween, unbelievable.
I mean, the Easter ones are the goat, like the egg shaped ones at Easter.
Yeah, those are.
That's not even, that's no contest.
Yeah, no, not even close to the pumpkin. Or the pumpkin ones are not even close to that. But the shaped Reese's are the best. So I go back to that. I can't tell you the last time I've had like a pack of like 2 Reese cups. I haven't done that in forever. We always you're going to Kroger shopping. It's like, oh, let's throw the bag of egg ones in there. Like we're doing the shape ones in a bag that you get like 20 of them in.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you the last time I've had like an actual like pack of the cups.
Yeah, at Halloween you get a ton of the like single pack cups.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are the ones where I'm like, dude, they're cutting some corners here.
Yeah. Those things, and then they kind of like, it's like flimsy packaging.
Squished.
Yeah, I was going to say the flimsy packaging. It's not great. Yeah. Not good.
But I do agree with you, like of any Reese's, like the holiday special shape ones are.
Yeah, even the Christmas tree ones for those are good.
The ratio's better. It seems like they're fresher.
Yeah, it does. And I think what it is you do, the cups, you can only put so much peanut butter in just from the design. I think with the shapes, like they can put more peanut butter in them, and like I like peanut butter more than I like chocolate, so that's why I'm a bigger fan for the shape Reese's.
I'm lockstep with you.
And the problem is you don't get a lot of shape ones trick or treating. No, at least not from what I can remember.
No.
So, all right. Well, I think that was pretty. Oh no. What you said your honorable mention already, right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with $100,000.
$100,000 honorable mention. Yeah. I'm going to throw Milky Ways on honorable mention. Again, caramel, Can't go wrong with caramel chocolate. Like, it's good.
The nougat, yep.
Yeah.
It's basically a Snickers, just no peanuts.
Yeah, essentially. All right, what's your DFL?
This one's like a layup, dunk, alley-oop. Like, mounds are trash.
Oh, God.
And look, I like coconut stuff, and mounds are just bad.
Yeah.
Like, you would get those in your Halloween, your
it's an immediate throwaway.
You're like, dude.
It's an immediate throwaway. Like, we get them, like, my kids get them. I'm like, they're not going to eat them. Yeah. I'm certainly not going to eat it. Just also, toss it in the trash.
At this point in time, if anybody's giving out any kind of black licorice, just get the fuck out.
Oh, my God.
Like, no.
Just tell us you don't want to hand out candy.
Yeah, just don't even hand out candy.
Yeah, just don't hand it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's going right in the trash. Yeah.
What's your DFL?
Three Musketeers.
Yeah, yes.
It is.
Finish him.
It is. It's the most overrated candy bar that I don't even know. Like, you ever thought about things where you're like, I don't know how this is popular. I don't know how the Three Musketeers people are still in business.
No.
They are trash. What is that stuff even inside? I don't even know. What do they consider it?
That's the nougat. But it's just all nougat.
Yeah, it's trash. It's absolute trash. And I don't, the packaging, like, I don't want to feel like I'm eating something out of tinfoil. Kind of what I feel like when you open the Three Musketeers.
It feels like space food.
Yes. Yeah, it's absolute garbage. And Guntz should be ashamed of themselves for even being seen with one of those in his hand. They're, and I don't get it. I know so many people that like them. I'm like, how? It has to be advertising. But I don't even think they advertise that much.
I don't even understand how it's called a Three Musketeers bar. It has 2 ingredients.
I never even thought of that.
It's chocolate.
It makes it even worse now. I never even thought about it that way.
I don't understand.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're the most overrated candy bar, and they're everywhere. That is something kids get a lot of.
Yeah, I think it's probably Mars or one of the big candy companies that makes it, so it gets tossed into the bag with the other stuff. And those manufacturers are like, here, let's throw a couple more of those in there because that's the cheapest, shittiest one to make.
Yeah, there's 2 ingredients. It's shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hate Three Musketeers. I can't. It just blows my mind they're still making them.
Yeah. All right, I got one last question before we get off Halloween candy. Candy corn.
Oh, in.
Okay.
100% in. And I actually like the pumpkin. Have you ever had the pumpkin?
Yes, the pumpkin ones. That's what I was going to say.
Those are the best
that's
ones.
Better than candy cane.
Like, I do like candy corn, but the pumpkin shaped candy corns.
My grandpa always had a bowl full of the pumpkin candy corn, and I would just hammer time those things.
I bought a bag of them like a week and a half ago. They lasted about 2 days.
Yeah.
They were, and the problem is I think there's only like 40 of them in the bag. Like, I need like 80 of them. That'd probably last me like 4 or 5 days.
Look, I think it's objectively probably not good, but like there's just something about the flavor that's like nostalgic to me, and I just eat them. It's like a seasonal thing, right? You just eat it because it's part of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but no, yeah, candy corn and definitely the pumpkin ones are the best, though.
Totally agree. Awesome. Well, from giving out candy on the front porch over to the back patio.
Yeah. So hey, can't leave them out.
Have to
shout them out. Our Patio Beers sponsor for the 3rd week in a row. Great taste, less filling, made with only the best hops from the Pacific Northwest. And the best part, 96 calories. You cannot go wrong. Miller Lite. Appreciate them sponsoring our patio again.
It's probably
that's what we're drinking tonight.
Fewer calories than in some of this candy.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Hey, hold the candy corn.
Yeah.
Let me drink about 4 of these.
Throw me a Gold Top.
Yeah.
You keep your Three Musketeers. I just need this.
It's the only beer when we visit the patio during a back 9 6-pack episode.
All right. I'll go first. I want the ball.
All right.
Give me the ball, coach.
Pass.
It's been a while. I shouldn't say it's been a while, but episode 3. Do you remember episode 3?
A little bit, yes.
Do you remember what happened the day of episode 3?
I don't.
Aaron Rodgers was traded to the New York Jets.
No.
And so I thought it was about time.
That's right. I didn't know it was that early on, but okay.
Yeah. Which, if people have not listened, go back and listen to the intro of episode 3. It's an all-timer from Justin. But I just wanted to check in with how you're doing. Packers season. I needed a Packers radio segment out of you. Just
it's from week one, just looking like we're not even going to miss a beat to today. And I hit a low yesterday.
I thought you might.
I hit an absolute low. Not only did they play bad, which has been expected they started 2-1 and now they're 2-5. So we've got 4 losses in a row. It was kind of expected coming in, but then they're playing bad. I'm watching it. I'm forcing myself through it. And then they knock out my fantasy quarterback for the season.
Oh, God.
So not only did my shitty-ass favorite team suck the last 4 weeks, and then on Sunday, and I'm forcing myself through it, third quarter, knockout. It looked like a non-contact, but we're going to blame it on the Packers and Matt LaFleur because they deserve every blame for everything that's happened in the last 7 weeks. Everything. I'm down bad. Look, as long as I've been a Packers fan, we've had a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm like. I know one Jets fan. I'm like texting them yesterday. I'm like, how do you handle this? I'm like a new swimmer and I've gotten tossed into the deep end of the pool, and I don't know how to get to the ladder. Like I'm a mess. Like my whole fandom, I became a Packers fan because of my grandma and Brett Favre, and then we transitioned right into arguably a better quarterback. And now we go from that to, look, Jordan Love, God bless him, and I think if he's drafted in like the 4th or 5th round, and like they're like, hey, this is going to be a guy that we develop, I think the expectations would have been a little lower. But when you move up in the draft and you take a guy, you fucking better believe that you're going to take some fucking shit for him sucking. Like, they moved up and got Aaron Rodgers. No one's ever going to be mad about that decision. But look at the things that, like, even just outside the Packers, right? When you move up to take a quarterback and they don't pan out, that is a job ender. And I feel like there's going to be no consequences for this pick. Because I will tell you this right now. I know everybody goes, well, Aaron Rodgers went 6-10 in his first season. But before Aaron Rodgers started at quarterback, you were hearing about the practices he was having and like doing no-look passes and just looked like a world beater in practice. You don't hear those things about Jordan Love. And the film does not back up any arm talent. I mean, even if Aaron Rodgers kind of sucked for 2 years, you're like, the dude's got an absolute fucking cannon. Like, he can make any throw just because he can throw the ball so well. Jordan Love throws up what I would look like I'm throwing up in the backyard football game. Like, these things are ballooning. He has no penetration. I could go on for days. I'm just down bad right now. And I don't know where to go. I've never been in this situation as a Packers fan where we don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, as a Bengals fan, welcome to the fucking show.
I know. It's like, I think about it and I'm like, I feel like at this point, like every team in the NFL in our lifetime has now been through this process. Like, I feel like the Packers and the Patriots were like the only two where it was like, they haven't really been through that process of like, who's going to be our next quarterback? Now they're both kind of going through it at the same time. But I feel like every other team has kind of gone through that.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know, the Steelers were another one that kind of didn't go through that process. And now in our lifetime, and now they're kind of going through that. Like, is Kenny Pickett.
The Colts were in that spot for a hot minute, and then Luck retired early.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know what to do. Like, I just don't know how to behave as a fan. Do I like get angry? Do I have to like lower my expectations? Because I was cocky. I mean, I went to the Bengals-Packers game 2 years ago. I was telling people in the tailgate parking lot, I'm like, you guys better hope you keep it within 2 touchdowns. And that team went to the Super Bowl. That Bengals team went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. And they ended up winning that game, but I was like, that's how cocky I was. And now, if I rolled up into a Bengals-Packers game, I'd have a paper bag over my head. Mm. It's a tough fall from the crown.
Yeah, they're 2-5, third in the NFC North.
Which is a shitty division, by the way.
They've scored 31 fewer points than the Bears. Come on.
Trust me, have you seen their first halves? I mean, like they've scored 9 points in the last 4 games or 5 games in the first half.
Oh.
9 in 5 games in the first half.
Did the Jordan Love pick happen under LaFleur?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers was still there, and it happened, I think it was after Matt LaFleur's first year.
God, what it just... Oh, my God. And then he went on to win 2 MVPs after that pick, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's...
God, that pick is so bad when you actually look at it.
Oh, it's horrible.
The help they could have gotten him with 2 more MVP seasons in his bag.
I mean, you just sit there and think about it. You're like, even if they took a defensive player in that spot,
anyone that could have touched the field,
anybody,
yeah,
you spent a first-round draft pick that not only sat on the bench for 3 years or 2 years, now he sucks.
And it's like, to your point, it's one thing if it's, when they took Rodgers, he was like projected as possible the first overall pick, and he fell.
Yeah, like everybody knew the talent was there.
Jordan Love was like, people thought he was like an okay prospect, like they needed some work.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like he needed work. So if you take him 4th or 5th round, which you now that the smoke is settled in that draft, they're like, yeah, people are like, I think he would have dropped the 3rd or 4th round. Because there wasn't a lot of QB needs in that draft. And it was like, and it wasn't very deep in that draft. I think you had like 2 or 3 really good quarterbacks. And then it was like, after that, it was like, it's a bunch of, he's probably going to be a career backup if you might find a diamond in the rough, maybe.
Yeah.
And they moved up and took one of those guys. It's just, yeah, that's a fireball offense to me, as a GM, and I've not been a GM of an NFL team, but I feel like I watch and follow it enough now where, like, as a GM, if you don't have a surefire quarterback, like, if you're not like, this is the guy that is going to be our next friend, you do not draft a quarterback because the expectations get too high. You know what I mean? Like, if you draft a guy in the 1st or 2nd round, they're like, they're drafting this guy to be the franchise QB.
Just looking back on it even more, the more I think about it now is like how absurd it is.
It's absolutely absurd.
Like, I get it if you're, okay, whatever. The Colts, they drafted Luck when they still had Manning on the roster, I think. But he was coming off of a neck surgery. They had the number 1 overall pick.
And Andrew Luck was like, they're like, this is the best quarterback prospect we've seen since John Elway.
Totally different circumstance. They had an MVP quarterback on their roster that played for another 2 seasons.
I was going to say, and probably legitimately, like, he's talking about coming back next year. So he had 4 more seasons. Let's just call it what it is. 4 or 5 more seasons in him. Like, he didn't have the neck problems like Manning did, where he couldn't even, like, put on, like, there was stories about him in his last year, he couldn't even put on his socks in the locker. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, you didn't have, like, John Elway kind of got that way at the end. Like, he wasn't moving well. You didn't have that. Like, he was still fine. And you just couldn't. And, I will say this. Last thing. The fact that, like, I know a lot of Packers fans that are like, Aaron Rodgers took advantage of us. That's why we're taking a $40 million cap hit. I'm like, if they treated me like that after winning a Super Bowl for them, I'd have fucking done the same thing. I'm like, I would have. I'm like, sign me, run it on the credit card, and then knowing that I'm going to force my way out next year. I'd have done the same thing. Like Brett Favre, when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, it was almost like too good to be true that he dropped to that point. It was like, we have to draft him. He was going to be a top 5 draft pick, and now all of a sudden we're getting him in the 20s.
Well, you have to take that was like the Favre era of, like, I might retire.
Yeah, and he was kind of going through that every season, but it was like, you hear guys say it all the time when the draft's on, right? Look, it doesn't even matter if we need this position. If this guy who we think is the 5th best person in the draft drops to 22, we might not need a defensive lineman, but we're taking him.
Yeah.
or a wide receiver. We might not need a wide. We're going to take him. Well, in that situation, it was like, I mean, we don't really need a quarterback right now, but we're going to take him because he was but that's not what Jordan Love was.
No.
They didn't really need him, and he wasn't I can't remember who was in that draft for quarterbacks, but I want to say,
I don't remember offhand either. We're only going to get this wrong.
I think it might have been the Joe Burrow draft. I think it was 2000.
No.
It was 20. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was 20. You can look it up.
No way.
Look it up.
I'm trying.
Because what I want to say is, like, I want to take one of those QBs that got drafted. And it's like, if that guy drops to 30, or they were picking it at like 29 or 30, or I think they moved up to like 28, you most certainly take them whether you need a quarterback or not. What draft was it? Was it 20?
It was 2020.
And that was Burrow's draft.
Wow. It feels like he has somehow been around longer than Burrow.
So what I'm saying is, if Joe Burrow, for whatever reason, drops to 28, yeah, you're like, no brainer. We don't need a quarterback, but we're going to take him. But like, for someone like Jordan Love, you just don't do it, But yeah, it was 2020. I remember it was COVID because they didn't do the in-person draft, and I remember seeing that, wanting to throw myself out the window. One, because we pissed off arguably our best quarterback in franchise history, because I knew he was going to be pissed about it, and because it came out right away that he was telling people that he had no idea who they were. They didn't tell him they were going to be taking a QB in the first round, and I was like, oh, here we go. And secondly, because I just don't think he's very good. I didn't think he was very good coming out. But, yeah. Now we'll leave it with that.
Other quarterbacks, I think Jalen Hurts was the second-round pick in this draft.
Yeah, think about that. Think about that. That's the perfect. That tells you how bad that pick was. Is Jalen Hurts got picked behind him. Jalen Hurts was available, and you took Jordan. You moved up to take Jordan Love. As if someone was going to take him before you, by the way, which they weren't. They moved up a pick to take him. So not only did you make a bad decision, you lost draft collateral in the process.
Well, and the other first-round quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Herbert.
So, like, for instance, Joe's not a good example. He was going first pretty much regardless. Because the Bengals, Ohio ties, this and that. Like, there was no way the Bengals weren't taking Joe Burrow, right? And I think he's the best quarterback out of those three. But let's just say Justin Herbert drops. You take him. Like, arm talent.
Yes.
Very Aaron Rodgers vibe, Pac-10 or Pac-12. Arm talent out the roof. Like, can make any throw, throws the ball well. You're taking him at, you might even move up a spot to take him. But to do that for Justin Love or Jordan Love, and then to find out that Jalen Hurts was taken behind him, that is just mind-numbing. Mind-numbing as a Packers fan. So,
it also blows my mind Justin Jefferson went 22nd in that draft.
Which, at first, when he started to kind of, I don't want to say drop, I thought, like, man, they're going to make a move for him. Because I thought he was going to be, I thought he was going to be pretty good. I'm like, oh, the Packers going to make a move. They're going to get Rodgers his help. And then we did move up just for the wrong person. I did you close it? Because I was going to say, what were the other wide receivers taken in that draft that they could have legitimately probably gotten?
Yeah, well, I mean, T. Higgins was the first pick of the second round.
Yeah, they could have had T. Higgins.
Yeah. Michael Pittman was
with
the
Devontae
pick after
Adams.
him. So, I mean.
Like, think about that. Devontae Adams, T. Higgins.
Yeah.
With Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. Unbelievable.
Tough scene. Sorry I had to
fire everybody. Fire everybody.
Oh, man.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Okay. I'm going to stay on the Halloween train here.
Okay.
Best Halloween movie.
Oh, God. I'm the worst person to ask this.
It could be a mini series, too. I'll reach it out because I got an honorable mention that that is a series, not so much a movie.
I legitimately might not even have an answer for you. I am like so out on the horror genre.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't even watch these movies. Yeah,
have you seen like all the Halloween movies?
No, not even one.
Not even one?
No.
Those are like, that's like the starter kit for Halloween movies.
Yeah, not seen those. I've never seen the Scream movies.
See, I don't even like Scream. Yeah, it's like Killer, this and that. I don't even really consider them like Halloween movies.
Whatever the Nightmare on Elm Street, never seen that. No, I just completely avoid the horror genre.
Really?
Yeah. It's not for me.
I mean, I get it. I don't watch them like outside of Halloween. Like if a new horror movie comes out in July, I'm not going to be like, gotta see it. Like I'm not going to do that.
So I mean, the thing I look the most forward to watching every year, especially now that I'm a dad, is the Charlie Brown Halloween special.
Oh, that's
that's my.
Honestly, that's good. I guess when I said miniseries, like a 30-minute episode thing like that would be. My kids saw it for the first time this year.
Yeah, I think Zach
and they loved it
for the first time too.
Charlie Brown keeps getting rocks.
It's the best. The World War I flying ace. Snoopy's. I mean, he
goes. They're like, I got a chocolate bar. I got this, and he goes, I got a wrong. Like my kids love that, dude. They ate it up.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So mine, if I had to say movie, just the whole like. So my uncle used to dress up as Michael Myers. Those were what introduced me into the whole Halloween genre. 1 and 2 are great. 3 is not even Michael Myers, if you didn't know that. And then the one with, oh God, what's his name? I'm trying to remember. They're at like a private school. I think it's like 5 or maybe like Halloween H2O or something like that. But the whole genre of Halloween movies and Michael Myers, top notch.
Yeah.
Can't beat them. I watch all of them during Halloween. I've got like one more to go. I'll probably squeeze it in tonight.
And I mean, the theme song's like elite.
Oh, yeah. So. And it's so simple, too. It's like a piano.
Yeah, it's great.
And I follow this guy. I don't know if you've ever seen him on Twitter. He's the Michael Myers of Decatur. And he just walks around town and like drives around town in a Michael Myers outfit. And his wife's always like always getting mad at him. They're hilarious. If you've not, you need to go to this page. Just do it tomorrow in the spirit of Halloween. Go look up this guy's page. It's hilarious. And now he's got like a son that dresses up in Michael Myers. It's perfect.
Yeah.
My honorable mention, and this is the only reason I mentioned this. So about 4 years ago, Netflix started doing miniseries, like horror miniseries for Halloween. The first one they did was called The Haunting of Hill House. And I will tell you that I'm a huge genre junkie for horror movies, and I don't get scared. Like, I don't watch something and go, like, oh, God, turn off the lights and run. Like, you know what I mean? Like, upstairs for bed. I don't do that. They don't scare me. I do, like, jumpy and stuff like that. I had bad nightmares from watching this show.
Oh. Yes, yeah,
because this show literally pulls at every heartstring. Like if you're a dad, pulls at that heartstring. If you're a brother or sister, pulls at that heartstring. Like pulls at all the emotional heart. Like drug addiction. Like it just pulls at like every imaginable heartstring that someone could possibly have, or even sometimes like for me it was like multiple. And then like the jumpy parts in this show. I've never been so like shaky after watching a show than a couple of the scenes, like just the jumpiness of them, and it was phenomenal. Like I still put myself through it. I watched it again this year, like, and I've seen it, and I know where all the jumpy parts are coming, and it still gets me. I tear up at the end of it every time. It's fantastic.
See, I don't want that in my life. I don't think.
Well, if you haven't seen it, Hunting a Hill House, it's unbelievable. Honestly, it would be something I would even explore outside of Halloween time. Yeah. I mean, it'd be better to do it now, but I don't think you're going to finish it by the time Halloween's over. So,
yeah, I don't think this necessarily counts as a Halloween movie, but I was thinking about it just from the fact it's kind of like a murder mystery thing. But I love Knives Out.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh my God, you have to. That and Glass Onion.
What is that?
It's like I forget the director, but it's Chris Evans has got the sweater. That's what it's famous for.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an ensemble cast movie.
I know what you're saying. I know what it is now.
Yeah.
I know
Knives Out is awesome.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
And Glass Onion is really good too. It's like it's not a sequel, but it's like a part of the same. Ryan Johnson, I think, is the director. I love those movies. Like I said, not specifically Halloween. Also, shout out to like my teenage years, the scary movies, specifically Scary Movie 2.
Those
like they're so dumb. And
I'll
so
allow
bad.
it. That to me is a Halloween movie. I'll allow it because they are the guy with the short arm. Man, it gets me every time. Oh, let me get that. And he's like putting his hand in the mashed potatoes.
He's my strong hand.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, those were fantastic. And
They're
those
so
came out
stupid.
like right when we were in high school too. It was like pretty good timing.
Yeah,
They're good. I'll allow that though.
because
they're not scary, but they are Halloween oriented. Like
it's Halloween parodies.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I would say the most overrated Halloween movie is It.
Okay.
One, way too long. Way. The original It is way too long, and it doesn't do it for me. Like clowns. Like I know most people are terrified of clowns. This doesn't do it for me.
I just think clowns are weird. They're not really scary.
Yeah, they're
weird.
you're like more of like not that you're gonna kill me, like you're a pedophile.
Yeah, that's just seems a little weird to me.
No, yeah, I don't ever think like, oh, this clown's gonna kill me. I'm like I'm an 8-year-old boy. Like you're gonna touch me in the wrong spots, kind of thing. Like that's more what I think clowns are.
Last thing before we call it today. So I've never seen the movie, but I did read the book Pet Sematary by Stephen King.
Pretty good movie, yeah.
Terrifying book.
Oh yeah.
So
Full disclosure, I've never read the book. I don't read many books, but
yeah, I read that probably when I was maybe like in 8th grade, 9th grade, and I did not. That messed me up.
My dad's a huge Stephen King fan as far as like his books.
Yeah,
and that's his favorite Stephen King novel.
Oh man,
like he likes It. Like, he said It book is way better than the movie. But he said, Pet Sematary is his best, or his favorite.
I might still have some trauma from reading that book, to be honest with you.
It is pretty terrifying, though.
Yeah.
The thought of, like, dogs and cats that are dead coming back to life. And
you've seen it, so you know, like, the whole, like, he buries his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need it.
Nope, I'd agree with that. It's pretty terrifying. All right.
On that note, sign up for the Turkey Open, a much happier holiday.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to 24. That's our goal. We need 7 teams. Right?
Yeah, let's do it. I think we can get to that. Get the pot big.
Yeah.
Make your time worth it coming out there. Maybe braving some iffy weather for a big pot. Yeah. So,
in between now and then, hit us up if you want a hat. Subscribe, rate, and review the show. Hopefully, the weather turns. We get a couple nice days here, maybe over the next 4 weeks. At least to get out there once before the Turkey Open and. See
I just forgot I do have I'm playing in a 10-man scramble that I forgot I volunteered for. I who knows what the weather's going to be like that day. I might bail on it. I don't know. But hopefully we get maybe one more good weekend. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'd like to get one more round in if possible.
Yeah.
So we'll pray for that. But until then, happy Halloween, everybody.
Yep, happy Halloween.
Cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.